Bechoros Daf Samach. We learned yesterday, Rava says in his fourth halacha that if somebody has 15 animals, he's not allowed to pick and choose which animals he wants to leave the pen. Let's say he has 10 weak animals, he's not allowed to put those 10 in the pen and see what happens. He has to put all 15. What happens to the 5 leftover animals? They still have to go through the Meiser process with other animals. Rava asked a question in front of the entire assembly that came to hear him before Yantav, and he had a bam kasha, he had no answer. He says, but it says in the Brisa that if you have 19 animals and you leave them out, let them go through the pen, whatever is left over does not have to be taken meiser again. They're potter for meiser. What do? Stands up Rav Huna bar Schar and says, I have a teretz. I think it's talking about a pen that has 2 exits, 9 left the right and 9 left the left, and there's 1 in the middle. And that 1 in the middle could combine to the right and can combine to the left, and therefore they're all potter, as we learned the other day. Even Suffolk, Minyan Haroi, they're all potter. Says Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak, unbelievable what a schus the mother of Rav Huna bar Schar had, that her son was able to answer such an unbelievable question in front of everybody, and not only that, he did it in a way that didn't contradict Rav's other halachas, because Rav Huna bar Schar could have answered, it's talking about a person that counted until 9, then he stopped, and instead of counting 10, he started all over again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the first 9 are potter because minyan haroi, and then he's only chayiv 1 on the next 10. That can't be, because Rava holds that the 10th one becomes kaddish by itself, and therefore even though he started 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the second round, the first one would be number 10. He also couldn't say that's talking about peers going out. Every 2, the guy said 1. So if 5 peers went out, that's actually 10, you'd be chayiv meiser, but he only called them 5. And when he got to number 10, which is actually 20, and then he gave 1 meiser. And therefore they're all potter because maybe it goes by the way he counts, not by the animals that leave the pen. No, Rava holds that it goes by the animals that leave the pen. Says the Mishnah, if, let's say, number 6 and 7 went out together and the person called him number 6, what happens is he's off by 1 number. So when he gets to 9 and 10, says the Mishnah, they're mekulkel, they're ruined. It's different than if he just counted 1 through 10 and he made a mistake, where we said the number 10 is meiser, number 9 also has kedusha to it, because over there everybody sees what's going on, they see his mistake, it's obvious. But in our case, since they both went out together, it's not obvious what the mistake is, and therefore they are mekulkel. Says the Mishnah, if a person called all 3 a mistake, number 9 he called 10, and number 10 he called 9, and number 11 he called 10. So number 9 is kaddish, it's nechal b'mum. You have to wait until it has a mum, then you eat it. Number 10 is actually meiser, because it happens by itself. And number 11 is a shlamim. But number 8 and number 12 never become kaddish, because the only numbers you can mess up on are the numbers that are closest to 10, number 9 and number 11. But anything further away than the closest ones are not a problem. According to Meir, number 11 becomes shlamim. So if somebody said, I want an additional animal to be instead of that shlamim, that's called tmura, and it works. Says Rabbi Yehuda, but number 11 is tmura. It's instead of number 10. Tmura cannot make another tmura. Says Rabbi Meir, no. Number 11 can't be tmura, because meiser and bechar cannot be tmura. It's just a plain shlamim, and therefore it could create another tmura. If a person called number 9 10, so he messed up on number 9, but then he went back on track and he called 10 10. So 10 was perfect. And then he messed up again on number 11. Number 11 does not become kaddish. There's no problem with number 11. Why? In order for number 11 to be a problem, you have to mess up also number 10. You have to be oiker number 10. If you're not oiker number 10, 10 remain 10, then there's no problem with number 11. Machlokes in Rabbi Yochanan. Did Rabbi Yochanan say that we base everything on the person counting, and if a person, let's say, counts every 10, he considers it 1, and when he gets to 100, he just takes out 10 meisers? Or do we base it on the animals leaving the pen? So every 10 that go out, that 10th one becomes meiser automatically, even though he's holding only at number 1. Machlokes. Now, if a person, everybody's moida, even the Man Daf that says that we go by animals leaving, but if a person made a mistake, he got confused, and he said 6, 7, and he messed up 9 and 10, let's say, then everybody agrees that it's mekulkel, because we go by his counting and not by animals in that case. Now, everybody agrees that if a person counted backwards in reverse, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and when he got to 1, that's actually 10, it is meiser. Even according to the Man Daf that says that we go by his counting, over here he counted and it was only 1, the answer is because in Paras, Persians, they call number 1 10. Rebbe Elazar Rebbe Shimon says a tremendous chiddush. He says, it's impossible to have two mess-ups in one Meiser count. You could either mess up number 9 or you can mess up number 11, but you can't mess up number 9 and 11. Why? Because he holds like Rabbi Yehuda that number 11 is Tmura. So that every Tos and Meiser is considered Tmura. And he also holds like his own father, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, that you cannot create two Tmuras from one animal. So since these are Tmura from number 10, so either number 9 can be Tmura from number 10, or number 11 can be Tmura from number 10, but you can't have two Tmuras from one animal. If two animals came out together at number 9, and instead of counting 9, 10, he said 9 to both of them. Now 9 is not a Kedusha Dika number. So what we have here is number 10 became Kaddish by itself, as Rava says, but number 9 is Chulin. Both they got mixed up. If Edom come along and say, hey, don't plow the field with one of these animals, the guy doesn't get Malchus because the Edom weren't able to say specifically which one is Kaddish, which one isn't. However, in the same case where both animals came out together at number 9, and instead of calling them number 9, he called them both number 10. 10 has Kedusha to his number, so they both have Kedusha. And therefore, if Edom come and say, don't plow a field with these animals, he's Chayiv Malchus, because Mimanav Shach, one of them is Kaddish. The same exact case would be if the number 10 came out together with number 11. And instead of calling them 10 and 11, he calls both of them 10. Here's the Chiddush. Both of them have Kedusha. Yet if he says, he calls them both 11, only one of them has Kedusha and the other one is 11. And the same thing would happen if Edom come, they wouldn't get Malchus. What's the Chiddush here? The Chiddush is that we just said that in order for number 11 to become Kaddish, you need to be Oiker number 10. You have to make a mistake with number 10 and you have to call number 10 9. But over here he called number 10 10. Yet number 11 is still Kaddish. Why is that? Because they both came out simultaneously. However, Rav Ashi is Mechulik and he says no. It says in the Mishnah Zeh HaKlal, and it comes to exclude this case, that even if they come out together, since there's no Akira number 10, you didn't ruin number 10, so you can't ruin number 11. Now there's a brayz that says that both of them are Kaddish. He's going to say that it's talking about that before they both came out together, one of them stuck out his head and he called it 11, then he pulled his head back in, and then both came out together, and that's why they're both Kaddish. Question: if somebody calls the 10th one 11, is that considered an Akira? Well, if the person doesn't have 20 animals, according to everybody, that's considered an Akira. But if he has 20 animals, according to Rebbe, it's not an Akira. Why? Because sometimes people say, if they have Meiser, they say, Achad Meiser. It's one Meiser. So when he said Achad Asar, he meant this is one Meiser versus two Meisers, because 20 animals is two Meisers, he's holding out one Meiser. Have a wonderful day.